Welcome to Just a Few More Minutes podcast. We're three veterans of the animation industry and the video game industry. Yeah, all right. We sit here and talk about the video game industry and the
movies.
Oh, and the movies too, yeah. Entertainment in general.
That's us.
I'm Jeff Gabor, lead animator at Blue Sky Studios. Alongside me is Michael Berardini. He's some sort of animator at Blue Sky Studios.
Just an animator.
And across the miles way up into Boston is Paquette, former animator at Blue Sky Studios, and he works somewhere that we'll never mention.
We can't talk about it. Pete got a new job, and we're super happy for him, and life is the greatest, right?
That is correct, gentlemen.
We definitely did not just record 30 minutes and lost it all.
No.
And that is my fault.
No,
I
it's
will
not.
blame Windows.
Yeah, blame Windows.
I also just noticed that our timeline, I didn't hit rewind to start recording at the correct time code, so it apparently says we've been recording for an hour.
It's about right.
Oh, well.
Who cares?
It should still export correctly, right?
Sure.
I guess we're going to find out.
Let's
folks.
do it.
All right, as we do every week, we're going to start with the animation tips. So those that are really interested in animation can listen to the first 5 minutes and leave. Thanks.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Keep listening, all of it.
Our tip this week that I said a half hour ago is scout your scene. Scout your scene. Make sure you open up your Maya file, toggle that, or at least tumble the camera around, see what obstacles are in your way, see what props are available, see what sets available. Is there a tree trunk? Is there a rock? Is there anything that you can use? Count out your steps. Put your character in like a contact pose where the legs, are like each at their extremes. And count how many paces it is if it's a walking and talking shot. So that way when you jump into the reference room, you can make sure you duplicate that. Okay, he's got to go 6 steps. I'm going to make sure 6 steps are planned out. So you know how to hit your marks, just like a Broadway actor would know how to hit his marks to be in the right lighting, into the right camera space, whatever. You could do that too in your reference room to make sure you're doing the very best you possibly can. Did you have a nasty burp? Or
I just had a real nasty burp. I was hoping you didn't smell it.
I didn't, but you're acting like that was nasty.
I smelt it over here.
Yeah, you did. It's a digital burp.
So we went into a lot more detail in the last half hour, but I'm about done talking about it, right?
That's about as much as we went
Yeah,
into. I called you crazy for going into that much detail for your reference.
Yeah, he was like putting tape on the ground and shit.
Yeah, just so we don't, not say anything that was important. I would just use an example. On Epic, I had a shot where Bomba came in to his house and he was going to open the refrigerator. So I made sure to count out how many paces he went. And since it was such an extreme amount of, like, short amount of time for him to get there, I was able to duplicate that when I shot reference and really make myself move, and I could use 100% of that reference because I duplicated the exact number of paces and steps and speed that he had to move, and my reference was as usable as possible. Because you can't really cheat when it's tied to dialogue. You can't be like, oh, I need an extra second to get from here to here. There's dialogue. You got what you got. You better move them. So
you could shift the dialogue around.
Yeah, but I ain't no...
You ain't no... Basic bitch.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say holla back girl.
Oh, well, that's older. Basic bitch is the new thing now.
What's the other thing that you don't want to be? Scrub.
Sus.
I ain't no scrub.
Well, you're a bit of a scrub, bro.
I'm trying to go back as far as my memory will go. How far? Like. I think that's as far back as I go. Scrub.
I mean, I don't have any cool words for people that I don't like. I don't talk to them.
They use some choice words in the 1800s.
Like what?
What the hell are you guys talking about?
You know.
Golden loin.
No.
I don't know what's going on.
Golden loin.
All right. Anyways.
All right. Jeff, you look really tired.
Oh, do I? Why is that?
I don't know.
I told you a half hour ago.
Damn it, it was such a natural segue last time.
Yeah, I spent the whole weekend playing a lot of video games, played a whole lot of Halo, and then gave up on Halo because it doesn't work.
Yeah, Halo sucks.
It's too random, too many grenades, too much of certain teams having host. Just, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like Halo of old. Oh, and they screwed up the radar. The radar is messed up. The radar...
How do you screw up the radar?
They made it so the radius is much, much smaller. So you basically don't see who's on your radar until you're basically being assassinated. It completely changes the game because what it does is effectively you can crouch to take yourself off radar, right? But you have a speed penalty when you're crouching. Well, if you could just basically run the whole time and the speed in which you run doesn't get picked up on radar until it's too late, it effectively makes crouching a non-factor in the game anymore. And it changes the entire feel of the game. And so you can get perks in the game in different game modes that extend your radar back to where it used to be. But that doesn't happen on 4v4, Slayer, Team Arena, those kind of like games. Sucks.
Come on, 343 Industries.
And then ever since 343 took it over, it blows. Oh. The Halo 4 was a train wreck. Master Chief Collection, even though it wasn't necessarily all 343's fault, is horrifically bad. So we went and played Battlefront. I keep doing that.
No, it's Battlefront.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did it right.
I did it right. I was so afraid I was going to say Battlefield. Anyways, yeah. Battlefront, Star Wars, awesome game. Played that until 3:30 every night because my wife was out of town. At where?
At the Annie Awards.
Which brings us to our next category seamlessly. So the Annies.
Yep.
So
we didn't win anything. The Blue Sky Studios being
yeah,
Peanuts movie.
More than anything else, it's just disappointing.
It's unfortunate, but we made a movie that we all liked.
Mm-hmm.
We're proud of it. Awards are nice. We don't need awards.
We don't. The only reason why I bring it up, that subject of the Annies, is the I feel like it is somewhat of an injustice on how it's being run, so I would like it to change because of the disappointing factor. I feel like the way the voting happens, the nomination, it is a bit ambiguous on how the nominations happen, so I'll leave that part out of it. But the voting is done by the members of ASIFA, and since so many of the very larger studios buy most of their employees' memberships to ASIFA, then that gives the large studios an overwhelming majority of voting. So it can tend to be biased, and it's just sad. Like, I wish there was a way to make sure you could feel better about the results. And this isn't to say that anybody that won this year or years past, but the thing that I would just like to show, like, as a, is saying that it seems a little lopsided, in my opinion, is I don't feel like our studio, I have an affiliation to the studio, Blue Sky. It's in my heart. I love this studio.
An affinity as well.
Oh, yeah. Let's go with that word. That's probably better.
That's
okay.
Okay.
What did I say?
Affiliation.
Well, I am affiliated with it.
You are, so it was accurate, but I knew you meant affinity.
Yeah, affinity. Maybe even lust.
Lust, I've seen Blue Sky with its shirt off, and boy, its back muscles, really something special. You wouldn't think a back could have that many muscles, but when Blue Sky took its shirt off, I was like, holy fuck, dude, you're pretty good.
I'm starting to think that recording this over again is good, because we didn't get that joke last time.
No.
That's nice.
I don't think I can repeat jokes.
Anyways, I was just saying, like, it's just sad that Blue Sky's been around for 30 years, right?
Sure.
In 30 years...
Oh, I have a funny story about that,
okay,
actually.
Good. Okay, 30 years. Blue Sky's won, from what I understand. If I'm totally wrong, then please call me on my shit. But I think they won 2 Annie Awards in 30 years.
One of which was yours.
Thanks for pointing that out, Pete. You're right.
Point proven wrong.
I
would like to know how the fuck you won.
Me too, because... I do have a theory, but it's super self-deprecating. But so 2 awards in 30 years, and the flip side of that is Disney as a whole won something like 16 or 18 awards. I think it was 16, including their TV and stuff on Sunday night. And Pixar for Inside Out alone won 10. Or maybe not. It wasn't all for Inside Out. One was for at least Good Dinosaur for the effects, which was very worthy. That was really awesome.
Everyone gave that movie shit, but I liked it a lot. I know you didn't really care.
I didn't really like it. Yeah,
I preferred it to Inside Out.
I liked Inside Out. Yeah,
it's craziness. Yeah. I know the story wasn't perfect.
And I just to show that I can be unbiased, the best animated film I felt for general audiences this year.
Anomalisa.
That's what I said.
Welcome back. Callback jokes.
If you were to put the best animated film of the year, like pushing the art form and pushing the storytelling, Anomalies it probably would win.
That was also didn't win anything at the awards.
Oh, nothing. So
nada.
Point.
Not even writing.
Kind of point made. Like, yeah, not even writing. That's crazy. I don't know. So it would take, if you do your calculations correct, for Blue Sky to win as many as Annie Awards as Pixar did on Sunday night in a single night, it would take Blue Sky 150 years.
Interesting you mentioned old. I regret saying this.
Do it.
So, in the elevator the other day at work, we were getting out of the cafeteria at work, going on the elevator upstairs to the studio, and there was an elderly gentleman there, and he walked in before us and hit 3. And I was like, because 3 is the floor that Blue Sky's on, and we share the building with some other companies. And there's this old guy that I always see in the cafeteria that always, like, he takes the soup and puts it in the little tester bowl and, like, slips it with his weird lips. And I mistook this old man in the elevator as the lippy soup guy. And I was like, no, you're not 3, right?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Please tell me it wasn't Eugene.
No,
Okay.
it was Dick Hadsell.
Those know. He's been at Blue Sky for longer than all of us.
He's like a founder of Blue Sky, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, no,
that's so funny.
I work there. I'm just not an animator. And it was the most awkward elevator ride.
That?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Which means...
He's actually given me crap before, too, about being an animator.
Yeah.
And apparently,
Yeah.
he's not so good
That is
with,
funny.
like, cussing. And I was like, boy, I feel like a douchebag right now.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was so awkward and terrible.
Oh,
So,
That
there's
guy
that story.
reminds
But
me of
okay.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Larry
That's
David...
messed up.
Larry David and the show in general, just the awkwardness.
Yeah, totally. So to wrap up the Annies, it's not that we'd think anybody isn't deserving of the wins, because they most certainly are extremely talented. The reels were extremely good.
Yep.
Voted on them. Many I voted for. They were really good stuff. Like, really good. It's just, it's too bad studios like Moonbot, Real Effects,
Illumination.
Blue Sky, Sony, come on, Sony.
Yeah, Hotel T, like, had some really
I
cool
know.
animation.
And
Yeah.
we don't know what they sent for to be nominated, so it's a little hard for us to say.
Sure.
But it doesn't seem, the amount of wins per studio don't seem to reflect the amazing diversity and skill level put all over the world. And that's the only thing that we wish we could change the voting scheme somehow. You were talking
Yeah,
an
I
hour
was
ago.
thinking, like, it was just an idea I had with my buddy Drew. We were talking about it, and I was thinking, like, take, for example, if all these movies were nominated for Best Feature Animation Picture, whatever, and, like, you got Pixar and DreamWorks and Blue Sky and Disney, per category, each studio would be allotted a certain number of votes. So, like, Disney would get 300 or 400 votes, all given out based on rank. So, like, highest of the high directors and producers and stuff would get the votes. And then, like, there would be a way to equalize it, so at least each studio is getting the same number of votes.
Right. So it's like a weighted voting system.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then you were saying...
Yeah, that my wife came up with the idea of that each studio would have like an electoral college, so all their votes would be tallied up, and whoever was the majority, that would go down to a single studio vote for each category, which I thought was an interesting idea. To one Pixar vote would be worth one Blue Sky vote. So you would have to have each member be associated with a studio.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the right way is. All I know is right now it doesn't seem to accurately reflect the diversity and everything. So moving on. Let's get to our sponsor so we can detach away from animation through a segue.
That's the detach from the animation spaceship. Now we're free floating in space. We lost.
Well, this is a special time of year, so I'm going to try to do this in
Another
my most
sponsorship.
I'm
Can
sorry.
I read it this time?
Yeah, do you want to give it a shot?
Yeah.
All right.
Jeff read it last time.
All right, but this time do it. I was going to try to do it.
I
in
got
like a
it.
sex. Okay.
Where does it start?
It says guys.
Okay. Guys, what if you were told there is a guaranteed way of getting your girl to take off her clothes this Valentine's Day. Get her Pajamagram. Get her the always comfortable hoodie footy freshen tootie for full body comfort. Or make it a great day for the both of you with something from the lingerie department. Guys, don't be a Valentine's Day failure. Pajamagrams could be the most creative gift you ever get her. Or at least, the very least, we guarantee it'll be the last gift you'll ever give her. All gifts come gift wrapped and come with the love it guarantee. Order online, enter promo code VDaySucker and get a free gift box of Valentine's Day themed suckers to go along with your hoodie footy fresh and tootie outfit. There you go.
That was a damn good read.
All right, I've been fired. Well,
so there you go. Put a sexy little head and toe outfit on.
If Valentine's Day was another 4 weeks, oh shoot, we forgot one part of that.
What?
You forgot to mention that if you order by Friday, delivery is still guaranteed by Sunday, which is Valentine's Day. Pete
forgot Valentine's Day.
I did forget that Sunday was Valentine's Day, goddammit.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
I know, right?
God damn it.
Asshole.
Your wife. I hope she doesn't listen to this.
She doesn't.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's no way. I think she listened to like the first 5 minutes of the first one. I was like, oh, that was interesting.
No, from what I've found, I feel like I can say whatever I want after the first 10 minutes, and then nobody hears it.
Except for the dad jokes. Oh, I was getting shit about my football comments last week. I know everyone took it pretty seriously, pretty hard. And I want to say, number one,
Yeah, it was hard.
I was drunk. I didn't know what I was saying. But number two, fuck you.
Good. I'm glad
You are
showed
entitled
them.
to your opinion, Michael.
That's right, I am. Thank you very much. The Super Bowl happened in other news. How y'all feel about that? Jeff feels pretty good.
Congratulations, Jeff
Yeah.
Gabor.
Yeah, I'm a Bronco fan. I'm happy with the results.
All right, moving on.
Jeff is slowly dwindling away right now. I can see it.
No, I'm not dwindling, man. My energy couldn't be higher.
You're just pissy because I'm a better sponsorship reader than you.
No, that's fine.
We're not going to lose this sponsorship
Listen,
now.
I'm okay with taking the role of taking in and trying to get the sponsors. Takes a lot of work. Every week, to be fair, every other week, I have to dig and search for a new person. I have to give them clips that are at least clean of our show. So, yeah, it's difficult to find a 5-minute section where you can say, hey, this is our podcast. We get to say how many listeners we have. And, you lie.
Yeah.
You have to lie.
Right. You multiply the numbers by 25 at least.
Well, yeah, I found the easiest way to do it is you just don't tell the whole truth.
Okay.
You
Does this apply to a lot of things in life or just sponsorship?
Oh no, I mean
Half-truths.
what was the animation tip last week? Perception is everything.
How to fuck.
No. Perception. I mean that can apply in
everything. Yeah.
Perception is everything.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
How do you feel about this light directly
I know.
in your eyes?
Please lean back.
What is that light from? You have this.
It's
They have this massive.
It's from a lamp.
All right. We already talked about how we're not going to record this stuff for
Wait.
people to see.
I do want to point out we are officially on YouTube now, everybody.
Yay!
Woo!
Hey.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I did all of that. It's all my hard work that we're on YouTube now. So thank you very much, Michael, and talk to you later.
Michael Richard. He's the one that requested it.
He was the first of many.
Many?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I got like a bunch of private messages about it. Direct DMs, as they call them on the Twitter. They just call them DMs. People are like, hey, man.
What does that
I
stand
really
for?
like podcasts on the YouTubes. I don't like listening so much. I like watching.
I'm Jonathan Blow.
This is Jeff's new impersonation of Jonathan Blow.
I don't know Jonathan Blow, so I like to think that maybe he's a cross between himself from Indie Game. Like, that's probably like he's trying really hard, and then a cross between Temple Grandin, but Claire Danes' version of Temple Grandin.
So let's hear it again.
I'm Jonathan Blow.
Good at
You
all.
sure you're not impersonating a deaf person?
No, because that would be like I'm Jonathan Blow.
Oh,
What? That's my impersonation. It's not wrong.
I know.
It's not good, but it's not wrong.
Okay.
I didn't say that's what he does sound like. That's not fact.
You called him like retarded in the last episode.
I said he might have Asperger's, a spectrum of autism.
I didn't remember what he said.
I said he's autistic.
It was very presumptuous, is all I'm saying.
I presume that he's autistic.
That is a folly of yours. We're going to talk about
I
his
don't
game
know.
later.
Listen, this is the fun part. It's like, who would win, Batman or Superman?
Nobody, because nobody cares about superhero movies anymore.
Well, yeah, but there's a whole movie about presuming who would win. And the always conclusion is they would just team up.
Well, yeah.
I don't like that.
They
didn't answer the question.
That
Who
was
won?
an absolute
Alien versus Predator.
failure in marketing.
Alien versus Predator. Freddy versus Jason. Presumptions. These are movies.
Off topic. Actually, not really.
Jonathan Blow.
Jonathan Blow is the witness. Witness me. That's Mad Max.
Wow. Oh, man. I wish we wouldn't have lost the last one. We were so much on. In animation news. Oh, no.
No.
Video game news.
Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2 coming out. For those that don't know what Titanfall is, Titanfall can be described as a military-esque first-person shooter, thus like Call of Duty or
Halo.
Battlefield. Oh, and Halo. But imagine you can parkour. Ooh, you can jump around and like jump on buildings and jump into little windows and pretend you're just this kind of cool.
You're so snarky now.
And it's really fun. But not only do you get to do that and shoot people with your little handgun.
Your little pistols.
Yeah, and you get...
You just go to town on the boys with your guns, and then you call in the big boys.
That's what you get to do.
You gotta call in the Auto Titans.
So then...
Stop it, you bastard.
Oh, Pizza Bear. So then down from the sky comes a giant robot, and then you can fight your giant robots against other giant robots, all while the little people are still around, so you can still shoot them, and they can shoot you.
It's
So
a
the
real
first,
hoot.
The first Titanfall was a great game, but it lacked one major element. What was that?
A single-player campaign.
A campaign, which a campaign can be summarized as
a story-driven content played by yourself.
Yeah, and it didn't have that. Why didn't it have that?
Because they were a small team that couldn't afford to spend the resources and the time on a single-player campaign. But now, the sequel, Titanfall 2, will have a single-player campaign.
Very exciting.
And potentially a TV show tie-in.
Pete, you didn't even know it was that big. That's what I heard.
You know what? I can't wait till we get to the content that we haven't already done.
Are we there
Pacing
yet?
is way too fucking fast, man.
All right. No, screw that. Oh, you know what?
Guys,
Guess what other games are coming out this weekend that you can play?
Unravel and Firewatch.
Unraveled is a...
This is the worst.
It's not. It's bad because they didn't hear the first one. They
It's
think it's
true.
hilarious.
Sure. I
Right,
guess.
BJ? Oh, so this is a sort of a... Unraveled does look really awesome.
It does look awesome.
So if there's one game I'm going to play this weekend, it's Unraveled. I hate saying the exact same thing.
It's fine. They haven't heard it. It's
You're
just
right.
we have, and we're staring
I
at you
know.
listening to the same shit.
Yeah.
No, but say it
So
again.
now that marks the point where my computer failed.
Okay,
It's-
so we're delving into new territory.
New territory.
Totally.
So I have some news topics.
Wait, this was right. Look, the time code.
I know.
Okay, what's some new news, Pete?
Some new news.
Paquette.
Some kind of upsetting news
Uh-oh.
is that Star Fox is in development hell right now.
Yeah.
Oh no! Who would have thought that shitty looking game is going through hell right now?
Yeah.
I was really excited about this, but apparently Nintendo, like, they were having troubles with the motion controls, and Nintendo wanted to double down on it. So that might cause another delay in the release of Star Fox Zero. Another cool piece of news. A lost, canceled Sonic arcade game has been discovered.
That is cool. I saw you put a link to that through our JAFMM.
At JAFMM Podcast.
I did. The game owner made a Tumblr post with an image and title card calling it a Megaton and tagging it with the word unreleased. It's called Sega Sonic Brothers. There's very little known about it right now, other than it was made by the designer Fukio Mitsuji, creator of Bubble Bobble.
Sounds right. All Fukio.
Bubble Bobble,
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to see a Sonic game made by the creators of Bubble Bobble.
Well, and from all the screenshots of it, it had like a battle mode and multiplayer type stuff going on with it, so that's kind of cool, and it was all arcade style. Seemed neat.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it was anything like the 2-player mode on Sonic 3. That thing sucked. I don't know if you ever played that. That was
No, I never did.
But it'd be cool to see what this was.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying that fans will be able to try it out for themselves, in quotes, in due course. So somebody's just holding it right now.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to be able. Someone's going to put it on a ROM and eventually print discs. You know they will. So you'll be able to put it right into your Retron or Sega Genesis eventually.
A Retron does not take discs, idiot.
Cartridges. I'm Jonathan Blow.
Amazon released a new free game engine today.
Am I going to get shit for calling him autistic?
I don't know.
I mean, it's all just fun. I mean,
I insulted an entire football community. It's fine if you insult one guy.
Autism is not funny.
No, it's not. I certainly wasn't laughing.
But it doesn't mean autistic people can't make jokes, though.
It's very true. Or make games.
Like Jonathan Blow.
What other news stories do we have, Pete?
Well, Amazon has a new free game engine called
yeah.
Lumberyard. Offers integration of its Amazon Web Services, and also has a Twitch video-focused streaming service. Apparently, it can handle AAA current-gen console games and PC games with mobile support coming down the road. This is pretty cool. I mean, the more of these that come out, the more games you're going to see come out.
Yeah.
Just because of, you know,
although it does tie into our topic last week about the green light stuff.
That's true. That's true.
More
balls kicking simulators coming at you.
But with stunning graphics.
With stunning AAA quality graphics.
I don't know. I think it's cool.
I think it's cool.
I'll wait and see what games are actually made with it. You know, like I didn't really care about Unity until I started seeing a bunch of really awesome indie games being made with it.
That was the cool thing about when I was playing Ori and the Blind Forest, to see the Unity logo come up at the end. I was like, oh man, I was learning that. That is so cool to know that Unity made that game.
Old Jeff Gabor here was dabbling in the video games for a while.
I did a whole bunch of tutorials, and then I decided to get engaged, and whoops, squashed that hope. Actually, Pete, I never even told you, but I was making a Treehouse Studios game.
You were?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean,
3D?
No. It was pixel art, like a Mega Man platformer.
Oh, really?
It was. I actually had a Pete sprite jumping around, had a double jump and all that. It was cool.
You didn't even tell him about it?
I never told him because I was afraid I'd get his hopes up, but now my hopes are crushed, so we'll go ahead and tell him.
And crush his too.
Yeah, it crushed mine at the same time. I was feeling completely flattered.
Yeah. Oh, in other video game news, you were talking about The Division.
Oh, yeah.
Division's getting another beta, but this one's going to be open.
Good, because I missed the last one. I had a key, but then I couldn't remember my PlayStation password. And I tried for like a good 2 minutes trying to get in. And I was like, fuck it.
Cue the fuck you, Ubisoft, right now. I
Fuck you,
had
Ubisoft!
so much trouble getting my code. It took so long. First, I had to like connect my account, my Ustream account. Everybody has their own accounts now that you have to connect to PSN, which is fucking bullshit. That's another topic.
Yep.
And then I had to do that, and that took forever because the servers were just crushed. And then I kept trying to get my code. I put in the registration. I hit the submit, and nothing would happen. For the longest fucking time, nothing would happen. And it was by mistake that I kept the window open that I finally got my code. Apparently, it was just churning, and there was no visual cue that it was thinking or anything. And it then just popped up and said, "Hey, here's your code."
Wow, Pete, that sounds terrible. God. You know what other game comes out this
What?
weekend is Firewatch.
Why are you doing this?
You don't want me to talk about the Division?
No, Pete, that's cool. Keep going.
It sounds awful, Pete.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
I'm going to play it, this beta, whenever it is. I'm going to give it a go.
Well, much to my delight, it wasn't a multiplayer beta. There was a part of it that was multiplayer if you wanted to dabble.
Oh, I didn't realize that. There was a campaign mode you could play?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a full single player campaign.
That's
so it was like two, 3 missions.
I definitely heard a smattering of reviews from friends that it was clunky. That you played Gears of War with us. They said that it was a little bit more clunky than Gears of War in terms of like the whole like hiding behind walls and whatnot.
Yeah, but who were you talking to? Your first-person shooter friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they played Gears.
Yeah, but
So if they're saying it's worse than Gears...
Gears is old at this point.
That's what I'm saying. If it's worse than Gears...
No, but I don't... I know who you're talking about, who you talk to. They don't like third-person shooter games. Pete, how did it feel?
There were times it felt clunky, yes.
Damn it.
But for the most part, it was pretty smooth. My biggest complaint with it was that, you know how like when you're hiding behind cover and you come out and you're expecting wherever you look the reticle to be in the center of the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that. You have to like pre-plan your shooting. So you have to like pre-plan your aiming using your left thumbstick, and then come up, and then you'll be aiming at wherever
that sounds like excellent information for a beta to give the game testers.
Yeah, but
developers.
I sort of like that because I remember when I was playing Uncharted 2 and getting the platinum, I had to play it on like crushing difficulty. If you popped out and tried to aim your shot while you were popped out of cover, you would die immediately. So you always had to like line up the enemies right in the dead center of the screen, and then you could pop out. That was the key to success.
Yeah, but he's saying it's not like that, right? You're saying if you line it up in the dead center of the screen, it doesn't line up when you zoom in.
No, it lines up to wherever your precursor is.
Yeah, you got it.
Well, I have to play it for myself to find out.
Interesting.
I actually thought it looked pretty cool. Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself playing, and I'm looking forward to it. I just wish that there were a couple things that were fixed about it. Like I thought it was fun, and the premise is cool. They go through the whole like story build up and all that stuff, getting you into the idea of it. And I thought it was a good time. The multiplayer is a little weird, but I didn't spend too much time in there.
I heard the multiplayer was the bit that got everyone super excited because it's like, what's it called, DayZ, where everyone's just in it and you can steal people's shit and
that's what I
fuck with people.
You must be talking. I'm surprised you're not talking to the same people. We know the same friends.
We do.
They hated it.
I haven't talked to anybody about it.
Like because since there's still a ranking system.
Let's just name names right now.
Well, since we're going to have him on the podcast, but Jamie Geiger, who's a huge first-person shooter guy, like he was talking about basically that the ranking system made it so people that were higher ranked basically would just run over people. Like, you could do all this work to get the loot, and then someone just basically
Well, yeah,
ninja
that's
it.
if you go into those dark zones or whatever they're called. You don't have to go into those areas.
Yeah, you go in there to play multiplayer. They call it the dark zone.
I don't care. I'll stick to Battlefront.
All right.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the game. That is my...
It's weird.
You said I could have an opinion. And
You
now I'm
can
using
have an
it.
opinion, and I'm proud of you for having one. It's wrong and stupid, but
Yeah.
I'll let you have it.
It's like Metal Gear. I'm sure that's a good game, but I won't play it. I don't like it.
Okay.
It's too big. I don't like that big of a world. I want an average-sized world.
You want a bite-sized baby game.
Not baby. Average.
Okay.
It fits better.
I feel...
In other video game news.
Yep.
Jeff Gabor has beaten Mr. Gimmick.
I did do that. I didn't know that was on the topic.
That's on the topic. Jeff Gabor's beaten Mr. Gimmick, one of the hardest games for the system. Didn't come out in the U.S., but is a very good game.
That game
Jeff,
was...
what are your thoughts on the game?
For what system, first of all?
Original Nintendo. This game is back in the 90s. It was a really fun game. The music is cool. Like, if you... basically, the audio chip, like, for Nintendo, was missing a special part of the audio... whatever you call it, the audio device, audio unlocking. You basically had to solder a special part of the motherboard to get extra audio ports. I'm trying to explain it.
Sure.
So that Americans never got the full audio they could get out of some games, including Mr. Gimmick.
What?
But since the Retron, which plays all of Nintendo games, it can handle the new audio of the European-made Mr. Gimmick.
Sweet.
So for my 100th video game that I bought, I treated myself to Mr. Gimmick.
Your 100th Nintendo.
Yes, my 100th Nintendo video game. Thanks for explaining that.
You're welcome.
I know. I slur
That's
a
a
bit.
hell of a good game to choose for your 100th.
Yeah, I know it was a special game, so you had recommended it a lot of times. You played it on our Extra Life feeds that we do every November. And so I was intrigued. I wanted to play it, and my God, I knew it was a good-looking game and good-sounding game. I did not know how goddamn hard it was. So
yeah,
it was
very brutal.
But basically, again, Deb was, my wife, whatever. She was out of town. So played a bunch of it and was able to plow through it level by level. And there's a good ending and a bad ending, or at least a correct ending. And was able to squirrel my way into the good ending. Good stuff. It was a good game.
Proud of
I
you.
highly recommend, like, at least just YouTubing it, take a look at it. And it's a weird old game, and it's cool to see what the power of the Nintendo could do at the end of its life in terms of, like, sound and game design and just fun platforming. It's another, like, Super Mario Brothers type of game. It's cool.
And real-time physics.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, real-time physics in a game. It was fun.
Yeah, it was...
It's pretty cool. That's an old game.
It's a shame that it never got released here.
Yeah, truly. Although playing it all the way through, I can see why. Like, it would not have the mass appeal. Like, it would never catch on like a Mario Brothers. Like, the difficulty level was so extreme. Just a brutal game, really.
So how did you get your hands on this one?
You actually sent me a link to a guy that, like, basically makes reproduction carts of it.
That's right.
So
And that one worked?
Yeah, specifically on his website. I could give it out through Twitter or whatever, but he has a link, or he has a special comment saying it works on the new Retron 5. So that's why I decided to definitely go with his reproduction carts. Because to buy a legitimate copy, you basically have to go through eBay and buy it from Europe. Like, there's a bunch of copies in Switzerland and Germany and whatnot. That's
for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, super, super, super expensive. And it's just like, all right, like, I'm a fan, but I don't have to have a legitimate copy. Like, I'm not that crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for an old game.
It is. And to me, yes, the game's worth, and even a reproduction cart, I'll be very honest, he sells them like full with printed, really nice looking packaging and booklet. It's $100. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spend $500.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like the, well, we won't talk about that because that's actually not, that was actually released in the Americas.
Which game?
Something I got my hands on.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess we'll talk about it at a later date then, Mr. Pete Paquette.
Mr. Secret Pete over there.
Yes.
So, yeah, is there any lasting video game news that people would even remotely be interested in hearing?
Did you guys see the new Lego Star Wars Force Unleashed trailer?
Yes.
I thought that was pretty funny. They basically...
Why did I miss that? I totally missed that.
They basically redid the original teaser trailer with the Lego guys, and they have like goofy little shenanigans that happen. It's actually really funny. I normally don't like Lego games, but this I think will be the first one I actually play.
Oof. That's cool.
Lego games are good.
I would have loved them as a kid, but as an adult, I find the hunt and peck games to be highly annoying. So that's just why I avoid them. I don't like the whole like find 6 coins and then you wait 45 minutes while you search the whole level and find them and then you turn them in. It's like, nah, I don't want to do that anymore.
I like
Lego game are you playing?
What's that?
What kind of Lego game are you playing? When was the last time you played a Lego game? Because
Batman. Batman, I think. There was a Batman one on the, the Xbox 360. I'm sure that sounded great. But yeah, the Xbox 360, I played one. Or in Harry Potter, too.
Really?
Yeah, it's like there's little coins and stuff. You move this block and then you get this coin and this whatever, blah, blah, blah. It was like I just want to shoot and kill people.
Oh, okay.
You're everything wrong with video games. I have an interesting topic later that will be a very interesting counter to what you just said.
I don't see why there's any reason why not to jump into that topic now.
Okay. Well, as we mentioned last week, I'm doing a top 6 list every week.
Uh-huh.
This week, top 6 games to play with my wife.
I like that.
And potentially
you didn't
games...
do your song.
I forget what it was. I think it was a ripoff of McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It's Michael's top 6.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I think Michael's just 6 sounds good.
Michael's 6.
All right, start over. Do it again.
You...
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
It's Michael's 6.
All right, put that on a loop. Oh, by the way, you can head to iTunes and download the JAFMM podcast of Michael's Top 6 now.
What?
Why not? That'd be a cool ringtone.
Oh. As a ringtone. Okay.
Ba 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 ba. It's
Someone's calling you. Ba 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 ba. Your mom's on the phone.
Oh, that'd be so good. People do ringtones, but they don't have like pre-made call-outs for people. Yo, it's your mom. Yo, it's your mom.
Mom.
That'd be good.
Hey.
Why don't you ever call me, you bastard?
Pick up. All right. Top 6 games to play with my wife. It could be with your wife, your significant other. These are the games that worked in our relationship. Okay?
You're not recommending me just to call your wife over because she's really close.
Ideally not. Play games with your wife.
I did tell you that she ditched me for ramen noodles last night. She was supposed to have dinner with me.
Good. You piece of shit. Eat by yourself.
I don't understand. It was like all of a sudden it was this whole thing. We were going to go have ramen noodles and then she, at the last second, pulled out.
Oh, don't...
You're just alley-ooping.
Ew.
All right, so I have a top 6 list. We all know I do top 6 because I can't whittle it down to 5. This week, I can't whittle it down to 6. So I've got an honorable mention at number 7.
God damn.
Okami.
What is the list about?
Top 6 games to play.
Oh, right.
With,
we just talked about that.
You fucking dumbass. Okami. Came out on PS2. I think you can get it on the Wii. It's like a super Japanese game where you play as a wolf god. And I honestly have no idea why my wife loved it as much as she did. And it was one of those games where I played and she watched me play. But we both thoroughly enjoyed it. So give that a try maybe if you want. It's a lot like a Zelda game, but as a wolf.
Well, what about Twilight Princess?
Well, I think Twilight Princess fucking ripped off Okami.
Oh, interesting. Bold statement said by Michael Berardini.
Suck it, Nintendo. Go eat a dick.
They're going to listen to this back and be motivated.
Yeah. Reggie Fils-Aimé, bring it, boy. My body is ready. Some E3
That's a pretty
humor.
low percentage joke. Move on.
So Twilight Princess coming out in March.
Yeah.
HD remaster, just throwing that out.
I don't know
Going back to the news.
why anybody would want to play that again.
I got fond memories of Twilight Princess. If we want to dive into a tangent,
Let's tangent it up.
Jeff Gabor spent the winter of, I believe it was 2008.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No.
No.
Let's go 2009.
Let's just
Whatever.
fucking move
Does it
on.
matter?
Yeah.
The date? Maybe because I want you to picture yourself in the same time.
Was it winter?
It was Christmas break.
Okay.
Flew back to Colorado.
Sure.
Hung out with my girlfriend.
Okay.
She had a Wii.
Yeah, she did.
And she made me read the strategy guide as she played
Ooh.
Zelda the whole time.
Fucking whipped little boy.
I play a lot of video games, and I wasn't allowed to play
So you dumped her?
on New Year's Eve. 2 hours before midnight.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good,
Come
man.
on. High five.
No.
High five that.
You should have at least gotten your midnight kiss.
All right.
No. He high-fived himself, everybody.
No. Thank you. And then, so that's my memory of Twilight Princess was, why aren't you letting me play? I'm going to break up with you.
It's a good one. All right, so top 6 games to play with your wife.
We have so far gone with Origami.
Ah, Jesus. Okami. Number 6 is a game that you played, Child of Light. Came out recently. It's a Ubisoft wanting to be an indie publisher. It's like a tiny little 2D RPG sort of game, but your partner can play as a little like hovering orb thing that it's an RPG and it's an active RPG, which means it's live. It's not turn-based. So on the bottom of the screen there's little meters saying like when you're allowed to attack and when the enemies will attack. So your partner can then take that little orb and hover over an enemy and slow down their meter essentially. So like you can plan your attack and you both are like strategizing and be like, okay, hold that guy back while I attack this guy. Now hold back that guy. And it's really fun.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a very good like 2-player active thing where she or he gets to be a part of it, but not necessarily if they're not a big gamer. Like there's not a lot of pressure on them to do well or poorly because you can still succeed.
And it does have a lot to offer narratively and visually.
Yeah,
as well.
It's like a watercolor look storybook sort of presentation story.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Just to explain a little, the narrative is basically what happens in the mind of Sleeping Beauty when she's asleep. It's really cool.
I have it. I never played it.
It's really
You
good.
should give it a go.
Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah.
At number 5, I know a lot of people don't think this game is super great, but it was one that we enjoyed. Beyond Two Souls by Quantic Dream. I think most people know it as the game with Ellen Page in it and Willem Dafoe. And it's basically like one of those heavily story-driven games where there's not a lot of actual gameplay. You're basically guiding. It's like Until Dawn when I talked about last weekend or whenever it was, where you choose dialogue options and there's very minimal gameplay and it's always moving forward to the next story point. And it was pretty cool. It was like one of the first games to feature real actors. Not that there are not real actors, but like well-known actors in video games, and their likenesses are actually represented pretty well in the game. So that was a pretty good game. My wife thoroughly enjoyed that. That was one where I played and she watched most of it, and that's how it goes with like these story-based games, which leads me into number 4, which is basically, I'll sort of do an umbrella option, Telltale games. But specifically, most recently, we've been playing the Game of Thrones game, which is pretty cool. It's pretty good. It ties into the TV show, if you watch that at all. It takes place like in between and during, I think, season 2 and season 3. And it features characters that are not in the show, but you play as a family that interacts with characters from the show. So you're sort of doing stuff in the background of the actual show, but you're also doing stuff that literally affects what happens in the real show. And it's story driven again. So like Telltale games are known for basically characters can die at any point, and it's pretty serious stakes all the time. And it's pretty serious, and it's pretty great. They're not very polished games, like nowhere near
Is that
as
is
polished.
that only available on PlayStation?
No, you can get any Telltale game on like any device. You can even get that on your iPhone if you wanted.
Cool.
Their whatchamacall, their system, their engine. Thank you, game guy. Their engine is pure shit, so it runs on anything. At number 3, I'm sure this is on a lot of people's lists. Minecraft. No. Minecraft is such a fucking amazing game. I'm shocked. I was thinking about it. This is the first time we'll have ever mentioned Minecraft on this podcast. I don't know why Jeff rolls his eyes and does this whole grunt over there.
I don't like it.
It's because you haven't spent time with it, man.
I have spent copious amounts of time with Minecraft, and I'm not a fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn it, Pete. I thought you were going to be on my side.
No, I gotta say, like, I've gone through it all. My kids are like heavily into it, and that's how I've gotten into it.
See,
but I mean, there was this one time where I had like we were playing survival, and I actually got some redstone, and I was so happy that I actually got that far to where I got redstone, and then I fell into a pit of lava and died.
That's just because you're a bad game player.
Well, then I just decided that I never wanted to play it again because it pissed me off so bad.
Man, Minecraft is so cool. It's really interesting to me because not to sound like a hipster, everyone fucking calls me a hipster, but I was playing Minecraft like before it was well known. I found it through, there's this guy on YouTube called David RY64T or something like that, but he was like one of the main intros to Minecraft way back in the day, and he had a whole series of like 80 or 100 videos of him playing it, and I would like watch that while I was spending time in Minecraft myself, and there's just something really special about that game. But anyway, the way me and my wife played it is essentially like there's a survival mode. I'm assuming everyone knows Minecraft generally, but like it's basically like playing with Legos in a randomly generated world. And so we would set up a shelter, and my wife would stay in the shelter, and like we would build it into a mountain or something. And then she could spend her time in the safety of the shelter, expanding the shelter and making it look beautiful, essentially being like a home decorator and making the house that she wants to, while I went out and like traveled the world and went into dungeons to find all the coal and all the stuff to make our...
sexist.
It's not sexist. That's
really?
Just... It's what she wanted to do. She didn't want to go
You hunted
venture.
and gathered, and she stayed home and ate fruits and veggies.
That is not what I said. I said she decorated the home.
All right. No, that's cool.
Have you ever played Minecraft? Have you ever played Minecraft, Jeff?
Yeah, but I would let my wife hunt.
If your wife wanted to. But half the fun of Minecraft is building your home. Like, half the fun of Minecraft is building the structure that you see in your mind.
Yeah. Did you take care of the babies, too?
Oh, fuck you, man. At number 2 is Rogue Legacy, a game that I've already talked about on this show. I think it was on my best games of last year. That was just a game. It's a roguelike, so you keep going in and you die, and you keep going and going and going. So it was a game where we just traded lives, and that was one of those games where she wanted to play all the time, and I was super happy to oblige.
That phrase,
what?
Traded lives.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how many people don't understand that phrase.
Must be a Denver thing.
What?
You've never heard it too, right?
I never heard of it.
No. It's crazy.
It's
not
like
that
I picked
common
it up from you, though.
Oh. It was such a common
for people
term.
who don't know, trading lives is passing the controller back and forth when somebody dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would go, and I would go as far as I could, and then I'd die, and then I'd give it to her, and she would go as far as she could.
All right. Moving on, but I'm surprised that phrase is not more omnipresent.
Well, it's a phrase on this show from now on.
Trading lives.
Trading places.
Was a movie.
Swapping.
No. That's,
Okay.
No.
At number one, another game that I've talked about a lot is Towerfall, where we would have Towerfall Fridays. Friends would
Yes.
come over and play. I think that game is known for like multiplayer couch co-op sort of stuff where everyone's fighting each other, but it has a really, really good sort of single player or co-op campaign, I guess, where you basically go through all the different levels and you fight waves and waves of enemies, and it's all about teamwork and working together. And like we would always play, I would cover the left side, she would cover the right side, and it was good. It was fun.
Yeah. Really, I've mentioned it before, but that is probably one of my biggest regrets of not having the PlayStation 4, which is Towerfall. It's just such a great, fun-looking retro, but like updated retro game.
Yeah.
Like everything, you're taking advantage of everything of modern gaming, but making it have all the gameplay of old. Really, just what a smart, fun game.
There was a really cool write-up of how they actually made that game, because it's I think it's literally one or two guys.
Yeah, I think it's one person made the game, another person like published it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's small.
But it's like a group of 4 or 5 guys all lived in a house together that they rented, and like each one of them was making their own game, and they would just basically pass it off to each other, like a game dev house.
So cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Which is a nice segue. Like, that's a great list. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
I actually, hold on. Before we leave that topic, I wanted to say, I'm totally blanking the name, but I'm surprised that the other Ellen Page game didn't make your list. The zombie
The
Last of Us.
Ellen Page is not in that game.
She was removed, right?
Well,
Originally.
somebody said that to me. I don't think that's true. I think they just modeled her to look very similar,
Oh, dude.
and then they changed it. I don't know.
All right.
Well, didn't she sue them for
That's what I thought. It was like,
for using her likeness?
yeah. That's what I thought. It was like basically like overly used. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. Anyways, Last of Us. I thought that was your main couch co-op.
Okay, and
or not co-op, but
my
couch.
point that I forgot to make about this whole thing, because you said all you want to do is shoot and do that stuff. Every game I just mentioned has no guns or violence. And so I'm always surprised, like, every time a new Uncharted game comes out or something like The Last of Us comes out, I'm like, fuck yes, a story-driven game. My wife's going to love to sit down and watch this with me. But in reality, those games like Uncharted and The Last of Us, they have story, but most of the time it's gameplay, which it consists of walking around shooting.
Okay.
So I'm always shocked that she's not into them, and then I realize, oh, I guess the majority of the time is me walking around shooting, so she tunes out.
That's interesting. I mean, it's not too dissimilar. Like, just to give my own list of games that I play with, my wife, who is most definitely not a gamer, like, she loved playing Ori and the Blind Forest. Mm-hmm. It had so much great animation and story into it that it kept her motivated to keep playing. And it was a fun game that slowly built up her skill level. And then she's, for the most part, she's a retro gamer. Like, she likes the platformers. She likes Mario Brothers. She likes the puzzle games like Dr. Mario, Tetris style, Bejeweled style type games. Those are the games she can kick my ass at, and she enjoys it. But that's why I'm excited to possibly bring her into the world of The Witness.
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing The Witness a lot, and I wish my wife was more into it, but I can completely understand why she's not, because there's a lot of times where I'm just sitting staring at a puzzle for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, hey, will you help me? And she's like, yes, well, you want to do this? I'm like, well, that's not how the rule of this puzzle works.
Interesting. So to break down The Witness, I think it's a game I really want to take a look at. And so a few years ago, this guy named Jonathan Blow created his own basically independent game called Braid, which is a platformer that involved basically time warping and time manipulation. Mm-hmm. Really cool, really smart game that this guy made independently and made millions of dollars on, or at least $1 million on. Certainly, I think he ended up $2 million, something like that. Really cool, smart game, and he invested all that money back in to make this new game, The Witness, which is so much more ambitious. Really bold second game of his, and from all accounts, it seems like it's going to be a huge success.
It's already made more money than Braid has in its lifetime.
That's amazing, and good for him. Like what a super ambitious, talented guy.
I fucking love him. Pete, have you played it at all? Because I'm about to ramble for a long time.
I actually haven't yet.
Okay.
I haven't.
All right.
I actually haven't had a chance to play very much lately, so I'm all ears.
You're a busy new guy. Got it.
Go, Dieter.
Okay, so The Witness, I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but that was before I actually got my hands on it. I want to just tell everybody, context-wise, it's essentially you're on an island, and throughout the island there are monitors set up with maze puzzles on them. And these maze puzzles vary in rule sets, degrees of difficulty, and placement. It does a great job of like starting you out with essentially it is a maze puzzle. You start from the beginning and then you find your way to the end. But then it rapidly ramps up to something way more complicated and way more thought-provoking. If I was like a 13-year-old kid that didn't have a PlayStation 4, I would absolutely show my mother a video of this game being like, look at this. You seriously have to like use creative thinking and problem solving to actually advance in this game. I've spent more time just sitting and thinking with this game than I have in any other game for a very, very long time. And it's incredibly thought out. I wrote down notes, and I'm not looking at my phone correctly. Okay, the game itself looks beautiful. If you haven't looked at the trailers or anything, look it up. It's like flat shaded polygonal sort of style. The colors are super bright and they pop, and there's different like environments within the island. So you've got like a desert, and you've got a bamboo forest, and you've got mountainscape with snow, and you've got a castle and all these other things, and each environment has their own set of mazes with their own sets of rules. And eventually you go through that environment and you beat each puzzle within that environment, and then you get basically the goal is to activate a light in each environment that then points to the mountain in the middle of the island. That I assume once you get all the environments done, you beat the game. I have one environment left out of like 10 or 12 or something like that. I've been playing this game a fucking lot, man. But
That's cool.
So, god damn it.
Sounds like an awesome game.
It's really good. There's levels of difficulty in this game, and there's levels of thought process required, but then there's like a level way up here that is beyond your even mindset when you start the game. Like there's these I don't want to spoil anything because it's the joy of like figuring it out on your own when you play it, but there are these black monoliths throughout the island that you just encounter, and that doesn't tell you at all what it's for.
Like
but
Space Odyssey?
It's sort of like Space Odyssey. They're more like octagonal and not rectangular. But like they're just there, and it's like, what the fuck do I do with this? And then suddenly, after hours in this game,
spoiler.
you realize what the purpose they're there for and how to use them. And it's like, holy fucking shit. How did I not notice this the entire time? It's hard to describe how cool it is. Because then it's the type of game where you like look for and find patterns in everything, which is really cool. It's like,
So how much is the game?
it's $40, which is a lot for a downloadable game, but I actually don't think it's a lot at all. I think I've gotten more than my money's worth out of it.
I think the game took like 7 years to develop.
Yeah.
And this is more than a handful of guys and girls, I don't know. This is their life for the last bit of time, like $40. Come on.
It's not bad at all. And there are, I think they said over 600 puzzles throughout the entire game. I'm at 428 panels plus 29.
And I've read quite a few reviews,
Spoilers.
and it is cool to see how many people are just like, I'll never solve all the puzzles.
I am absolutely going to platinum this game.
Oof.
Without the help of guides.
Walkthroughs.
Yeah.
All right. See you in a couple years.
Okay.
That is a worthy challenge. I would guarantee with it the end of this year, we'll come back on our whatever 50th episode,
Handshake.
and Michael will not have that.
I guarantee you I will.
All right, no walkthroughs.
I'm in love with this game.
No walkthroughs.
I have not been this obsessed with a game since Fez. And Fez I was super obsessed with.
But
Like
Jonathan Blow is no, he's not. I'm saying he's a very smart game player or game developer, and I would be willing to bet that those last puzzles, he's gonna make sure that those you gotta earn in a way that's like Savant-esque.
Yeah, it's true.
Like he's gonna be like, it's because he's such a fan of old games. I mean, this whole game is developed after the world of Myst.
Yeah.
Right, and Myst was, man, that game was.
Obtuse.
I loved the way that game looked, but I couldn't do anything in that game. I was way damn stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very young when I was trying to play it, but it would not surprise
my
me.
brother, sorry,
No, go ahead.
tangent here, but my brother, when he was 12 years old, beat that game.
Really?
Jesus.
Yeah. it was crazy.
I remember just walking around being like, what do I do?
Oh, yeah. And the load times.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll put in another disc.
That's why The Witness is so good, though, man. Like, you can go anywhere and try any puzzle that you can reach. And if it's too hard for you, you just go to a different area and try something else.
Man.
And then, like, you understand how that puzzle works, and it sort of relates to how these puzzles work, and everything builds on itself. And, like, you take this type of puzzle, and then you mix it with that type of puzzle, and you've got this type of puzzle, and your brain is, like, fucking
The
amazing.
coolest part about the Witness and Braid is Jonathan Blow has just shown that an independent person can come up with radically different ideas and can find an audience that can sustain and support lucratively these cool ideas.
Yeah.
He's very much an inspirational person and worth donating a few bucks just to say, I believe in your cause by downloading your game. Like, that is such a great idea, and like I hope that kind of mindset can bleed over to our world too in animation, because it's just so cool. So it's like he's not placating to the lowest common denominator of an audience. He's like,
Not at all.
this game is for people that really want to think. It's a limited audience, but the audience that I'm aiming for, it's gonna create a huge amount of buzz, and it's gonna be awesome for that specific audience. It's cool, really cool.
On another level, I just want to mention one more thing about it. There are audio logs found throughout the game that hint at a much deeper meaning to everything than just a normal puzzle game. Like they're basically excerpts from like old philosophical, religious textbooks and stuff read by actors. I don't know who, but they quote who wrote the piece, and it's like all hinting at very deeper subjects. And there's even, not to get super spoilery, but you find clues that then unlock in this one certain like amphitheater sort of room, clips from various things. There was one that I found that was from like a PBS show from like the UK, I guess a BBC show, talking about religion and how that related to technology and everything. So there's a lot to this game, man.
Yeah, I mean, clearly he likes to make a statement with his games. He's not just making a game for a game's purpose. He wants to send a message and a story, and when he comes to tell something, he has a reason to tell this story. It's a pretty bold guy.
It's so interesting because you look at it and it's just like, is it just a maze puzzle game? And yeah, it sort of is just that, but it's a lot more too.
I'm going to have to check that out.
It's really good. Buy it, melt your brain.
Yeah. Pete, was there any last subjects you wanted to bring up this week?
Not really. I know I've been kind of quiet, but
No, I think this was
a lot of this stuff has been pretty interesting.
Yeah, we started the episode all over the place and a little upset that we had to re-say everything, but I think in the end we said some good stuff about some really cool games that you can play with your wife or your spouse or a person that's not really a gamer. Give some witness talk. I think this is a good episode.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think looking forward to next episode, we're going to have BJ Crawford give us his top 6 soundtracks to listen to. He's quite an aficionado of movie soundtracks.
I guarantee 4 of them will be John Williams.
You think so?
I'm calling it right now.
Well, now you just ruined it because he's going to switch it up because you know he's going to listen to this.
He's not going to switch it up because he's fucking hardcore for John Williams.
Really? I never saw him as a John Williams guy.
Who you
I didn't
see
know
him
that.
as? Actually, he's super hard for someone else too, but I don't remember who. But anyway,
It'll be interesting to
look
see.
forward to that.
So that'll be
Randy Newman.
Yeah.
give us a little Randy Newman there, Pete.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
So next episode we'll have Annie nominated BJ Crawford give us his rundown of favorite soundtracks to listen to while he works or whatever the hell he else does to those soundtracks.
Our first official guest.
Yeah, that'll be a good episode. So stay tuned to just a few more minutes on episode 6 for that. This has been just a few more minutes podcast
That's
with
correct.
Jeff Gabor, Michael Berardini, and Pete Paquette, 3 veterans of the animation and video game industry, talking about all things media related and entertainment related and football related.
Yep.
And make sure you get your hoodie, footy, fresh and tooty, whatever the hell.
The Ookie Wookie cookie too. Don't forget about that. That's still going at Subway.
Yeah.
They're not sponsoring us anymore. That's just a tasty, tasty cookie.
And Pete, if this episode didn't record, you're fucking dead to me.
Oh, it did. We're okay.
All right, then.
We're okay.
I like that on the past few episodes, we've been incrementally going like 20 minutes longer and longer and longer. This one, not. It's a normal length episode.
Well, we're at about an hour and 10 minutes, an hour 11 minutes.
See, that's good. The last one was like close to 2 hours.
Yeah, it was.
Huh.
I drank less this episode, too.
Oh, yeah.
But we did rush through a lot of what we talked about in the beginning.
No, we didn't.
Wait, are we saying goodbye or are we stopping?
All right. Jeff
Are there
wants to
more
play his goddamn video games.
No, it's too late now. I lost the video games. All right, I don't know where Pete's going to edit this out, but just in case. This has been just 4 minutes. Peace out, motherfuckers.
Bye.
See ya.